Greetings, Iain from RTO here. Welcome to Tuesday. Again, it's dark and gloomy and it is bitter cold out there. So stay in the warm and watch a few videos on the channel is my advice. What we got for you today? Well, we've got a sort of concluding the Gordon Giltrap that we did last week. I've looked at his collaborations. Apart with all the other work he's done, he's worked with other people as well. Thank you to Mastermind Dave for pointing that out. So this is sort of just a round off Gordon Giltrap. I found 12 albums that I know that you can get hold of. A lot of them have got a lot of his own stuff on, so this will be very brief, not because half of the stuff on some of these albums is what we talked about last week. So we'll go through these 12. I've got a couple, I've got some of them, but I haven't got all of them. So coming in at number 12 is an album that he did in 2011 with a chap called Iain Wood, and it's called Receptive Relation. Basically this has got the introduction to Receptive Relaxation, Anxiety Explained, 3 daily exercises, Prepare Your Mind and Body Stress and Anxiety Relief Program. Well, this is weird. All it is, it's Gordon playing a little bit of classical music on his guitar and this trap Iain Wood going on. Now, I did have a quick listen to this, and all it did was made me more stressful because it was just dull. I'm sure there's people out there that really would benefit from this, but someone that has had anxiety, I just found it so dull and boring, and his voice was just like, yeah. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking 1 out of 10, purely on Gordon's guitar work, because it's quite nice when you do hear it. Okay, then coming in at number 11 is another album from 2011, and this is called Echoes of Heaven, and he did this with Martin Green and Carol Lee Sampson. Now, there's a lot of the tracks on here that are stuff that we talked about last week, but there's 1 or 2 that we haven't spoken about. So the first one on here is called Praise Him. I love Gordon's guitar work on this, except the lyric is very much repetitive. Nice singing, but it's a little bit repetitive. The Best of Me, again, Gordon's guitar playing is faultless. And then also on here we get The Father's Love, Under a Blue Sky, Heart Song, which will appear a lot today, Christmas Carol, Mary, First Light, In the Honour of Your Name, Love Wins, Lord Is My Strength, Walk Beside Me, Echoes of Heaven, and Peace Will Fall. Yeah, it's very religious and prayer type thing, so not really my cup of tea. It's some gorgeous playing from Gordon, so I'll give that one an RTO ranking of 2 out of 10. Okay, then coming in at number 10, this is an album released in 2021, so only last year, and it's a collaboration that he did with Paul Brett, and it's called Raven Reflections. It's just 2 really good guitar players playing together. The Kissing Gate's the first track. It's lovely because you've got this double guitar and it's quite pleasant. Spring, very, very moody, sort of the joys of spring, and it's just lovely hearing Paul and Gordon playing together. Shiny Moon, we've talked about, one of Gordon's tracks. They do a very nice track. Then we've got The Raven, which is very nice, and then we get Lauren from last week, which was nice as well, and then The Blues, Down the River, Pit in the Pendulum, a very nice track. Datum, it's just really nice music. It's very hard to describe just two guys playing guitar, but it's just very pleasant. Study to be quiet, and then Pofacetilly and the Fox's Prophecy. All these songs are really nice, but some of the vocal on it is a little bit wishy-washy and not very good. I just wish they'd have stuck to just playing guitar, because it's very, very pleasant. So I'll give this one an RTO ranking of 4.5. Okay, then coming in at number 9, we're getting 1991 now, and an album that he did with Martin Taylor called A Matter of Time. There's not much information on these albums because I haven't got them, so everything on here has come off the internet and there's not much information. So first track on this is called Across the Pond. Really choral sort of noises and a little jiggy guitar sound, really good. And then the second track is called Shady Tales. I like this, the guitar sounds really nice. Green Lady, like the start of this, some strings and that lovely classical guitar sound, really good. The Lord's Seed, I like this, I love the echo and atmosphere on this. Then Gillinger, very, very nice, very relaxing. Matter of Time, it's my favourite track on this album. It's got a little bit more background, some nice choral in it. It's really, really nice. Empty, very pleasant again. Collins Meadow, again, it's just as guitar work. Song for Alex, very gentle sort of track. G&T Blues, very little quirky number. Down the River, another version of this song. It's a very, very pleasant album, but I think once you've heard one sort of guitar album, I mean, I've been listening to a lot of Gordon Giltrap to do this, and it just starts it's nice, but I need something a little bit more upbeat. Okay, then I'll give this one an RTO ranking of 5 out of 10. Okay, then coming in at number 8, we got a 2004 now, and an album called Drifter. It says 2 CD set, studio recordings on disc 1 with violinist John Bradbury, and a live recording live at Huntington Hall. Also came out on DVD. Okay, the first track on here is called Mrs. Singer's Waltz. This is really good. I think adding a violin to the mix is really good because it gives it a little bit more depth and gives the track a little bit more interest. And there's a lovely melody of a penny whistle on this, and it's really, really good. Maddie Goes West. We've got some banjo on here and electric guitar. It's another track that appears on about 4 or 5 albums. It's pretty good, this version. Lakeland Memories, again, it's just nice, gentle music. Then we get Drifter. I like this track. Again, we got some woodwind coming in, some violin, which adds to the track and gives you a little, makes you go, oh, that's nice. Then we get Jane's Jig. It's really Celtic here. It's my favourite. It's got some flute, penny whistles and things like that. Really strong track. Then we get Ravensburn, more of that typical Gordon Giltrap playing. Been watching some stuff on YouTube of him, and I've never seen a man's fingers go up and down the fretboard. He is so quick, unbelievable. I mean, the Clapper Watch was Heart Song, and he just played it like in a pub garden, and all the sounds he was getting off of this one guitar was amazing. You know, he's a great guitar player. Three-Legged Horse, I love how you can hear the plucking of the strings on this, really good. The Long Home Road, just very pleasant again. Deco Echo, this is a jazzy acoustic sounding guitar, really nice. Circle of Friends, just wonderful playing. Triple Echo, don't mind this. Those Who Bring the Sunshine, a bit of just nice music. It's very, very, very hard to describe it. It's just it's a guitar and a little bit of fiddle. Greensleeves, the traditional thing, very interesting interpretation of it, and it's very good. Again, we got On Tiptoe, very good. A Hint of Blue, it's that jazzy sound to it, that's pretty good. John's Deck Chair, it's a little bit of Penny Whistle, that's okay. Then we get the live album, and it's just songs up from all the other albums. Got Application, Dreaming, Isabella's Wedding, Summer Holiday, the Cliff Richard tune, it's very nice. Nursery Chimes, very good. Pendrolino, Who Knows When Tomorrow Goes, Sally Song Live, Rain in the Doorway Live, very good. The Lord's Seat, they're all good. It's really enjoyable, this live CD. Rainbow Kites, Under the Blue Sky, Christmas Carols, nice. The Racer, A Dublin Day, On Canvas Sands, Here Comes the Sun, at Giltrap's Bar, which is very, very nice. Down the River, Heart Song is brilliant on here, because it's just him playing it, just like in that pub. It's just brilliant, and a brilliant version of Lucifer's Cage. I think this is a really good, pleasant album. It's just nice to hear some live, although it does get a little bit monotonous, because the tracks don't sound much different. But I think what adds to this is the live album, and I'll give this an RTO ranking of 5.5. Okay, then coming in at number 7, an album from 2009 that he did with Raymond Burley. This is basically Raymond is another musician that plays a bit of this and a bit of that, just like Gordon, and it's basically songs from Gordon's catalogue. We've got Maddie Goes West, The Wraiths, Ravensburn, Under the Blue Sky, Sing a Song of Sixpence, yes, the nursery rhyme, Down the River's on here again, A Christmas Carol, The Lovely Picnic, which I like, Passing of a Queen, which is one of his early traps, and that's really good. Heart Songs on here, Daisy Chain, Fast Approaching, Isabella's Wedding, Taylor Bird, Kaz, and Tears of Joy. Really good album. It's really nice hearing him do his other songs that he's done on his own with someone else joining in. Just gives it a little bit of depth. It is very, very pleasant again. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 6 out of 10. Okay, then coming in at number 6. Go to 1989 now. And a duo that he did with Ric Sanders, who's a violinist, percussionist, etc. And it's called One to One. First one on this one's called Calling On. It's got some really nice guitars and violins that work well. It is very, very good. Following on, the percussion on here is interesting. Again, you've got Gordon doing like the rhythm, and you've got the violin of Rick doing the sort of lead. It is really good. I like that track. Work, got a lot of interaction and interplay between the guitars and violins. They sort of take each other on. I think it's a little duel. Really good. Then we get Port Mary and a quirky little track that again, having the violin in it really adds to it. All blues. Love Gordon's playing on this. So he's doing sort of the melody and taking the lead. It's really, really good. Then we got The Poacher, good little track here, just very pleasant again. St Martha's Hall, solid. It's just really good stuff. Roots is another pleasant track. Spring Dance, lots of different textures on the guitars here, different ambient sounds, really good. The Rosehip, it's okay, but it's starting to get a little bit repetitive. Heart Song, it's interesting to hear it, the violin taking the lead on this. It really sounds really good. Then we got a thing called PDC, Pretty Damn Cosmic, the best thing on here. I would say this is progressive rock played on a guitar and violin. Then the last track is another version of A Christmas Carol. Don't dislike this album at all. I don't dislike any of these albums, but they just do get a little bit repetitive. And I'm going to give this one a RTO ranking of 6.5. Okay, then coming in at number 5, and this is an album from 2020, and it's called Pofacetilly, or Pofacetilly, and he did it with pianist Staurt Jones. First track on this is called Kathy's Waltz. It's very waltzy and it's got a piano in it. It sounds really, really good. Then we get the title track, Pofacetilly. What I like about this track, you've got Gordon playing this classical guitar, very traditional classical guitar, and then you've got Staurt Jones playing this jazzy piano, and it really works. It's a great track. I Hear You Smiling. It's 13 minutes long. It's just far too long, although it has got some nice flute in here and keyboards, but it just goes on and on. You can't do much when you've got very basic 2-3 instruments like this. It doesn't work doing long tracks. Winter Magic, love the bells on this. Got some sort of vibraphone and some nice piano work from Staurt Jones. Really good. Dream in Unison, a very atmospheric piece. The guitar work from Gordon on this is really good. You've got the keyboards, which is sort of a layer underneath, gives it that eerie atmosphere. Very, very good track. Foundations in one of them tracks again where you've got a jazzy piano piece with a classical guitar. Flying Through the Night, my favourite track on here. It's just a really nice track. You've got the piano providing the melody and the guitar taking the lead, and it's a very delicate guitar. And then we got Pofacetilly at Reprise, which is a nice track anyway, just a little bit. Apart from the long track, this has got a nice mixture of piano and guitar with a little bit of xylophone and woodwind instruments, and it's a pretty half decent album this is, and I quite enjoyed this one. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7 out of 10. Okay then, coming in at number 4, an album from 2010, and it's called From Brush and Stone. This is the first opportunity that the two friends of Gordon Giltrap and Ric Wakeman. They have been friends for many years, but because of their busy schedules, I've never sat down and put an album together, and finally they did in 2010. First track on here is called The Savannah Bird. Wonderful stuff. You got the two giants in music, Gordon Giltrap, Ric Wakeman, playing perfectly together, because I'm sure they've actually played together anyway, you know, so yeah, you can tell they really get on because they just play off each other lovely on that. Caesar Augustus, great stuff, you know. Ric Wakeman's piano on this is wonderful. Then you get Gordon just coming on, putting little delicate touches on his guitar. Really nice piece. The Kiss, the best track on this album. They just play off each other so well. The interplay is wonderful. It's just a fantastic track. Then we get Hermes. This is the guitar taking the lead, and Rick just comes underneath Gordon and adds little delicate little bits to it. Really good. The Thinker. This is just Rick at his best on the piano. Wonderful track. David, it's another gentle track. This time it's Gordon that takes the lead and Rick throws in the melody underneath it. Strong track. The Discus Thrower, really good again. They take it in turns taking the lead, and it flows wonderful. They just seem to just flow into each other. It's really strong. The Last of England, this has got a bit of a Renaissance feel to it. The guitar playing is wonderful. The keyboards sound great on this. Spring, very good track again. Death of Chatterton, one of Gordon's tracks, of course, from his other OPs, and they're just doing a really good version of it. The Light of the Word, just lovely to listen to them two playing this work. There's nothing wrong with that one. Really good. Biangle Tarn, More delicate playing from Gordon, lots of strings in the background, and a really good version of Maddie Goes West to end the album. An excellent album by two geniuses. I love this album because it's got Rick and Gordon playing together, and they play off each other wonderful. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7.3. Okay, then, coming in at number 3, we got a 2017 and an album that he did with Paul Ward, and it's called The Last of England. This first track is called The Last of England. It's a track that Gordon done with Rick as well, and it sounds very, very good. Same sort of arrangement on the piano. All the Days of Mai, very nice. Got that spring, early summer feeling to it. Spring, another track, and they've done, it's really good. Eagerly Chatterton, another interpretation of Gordon's track, excellent. April Love, we've got two guitars working here with Paul Ward, excellent stuff like that. The Light of the World, instead of got in the pianos, you've got it done by two guitars, really good. Just like Work, we've got it's more guitar orientated with some nice flute in there as well. Another version of Lauren. The Anafantasia, I love the plucking of the strings on this, and the keyboard in the background is just fantastic. This Father's Love, more gentle guitar and very pleasant. Sadie and May, just more relaxing music. Aenea's Dream, nice tune, some strings on it. Place Oriel, very, very good. And A Promise Fulfilled, a quirky track with some nice violin. Yeah, most of these tracks are reworks of other tracks and a couple of new ones, but it's a nice gentle album, very relaxing. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 7.4. Okay then, coming in at number 2, and this is the most current album from Gordon Giltrap, and it's with Paul Ward again, and it only came out a few weeks ago, and it's called Scattered Chapters. First track on here is called Starfield. This is a really nice track. The guitar work is fantastic. Scattered Chapters. This is a bit of a jazzy guitar on this, some nice gentle percussion of it, which gives it that extra layer. Then we get a thing called Nordkapt. I love, it's like a musical box style. You know when you open up the musical box and you get that tinky sound, and then the keyboard comes on. It's really good. One for Billy, a really good track. That strings really add to this track. Gives it lots of atmosphere. Sharing Days, lovely piano work here from Paul Ward, and Gordon's guitar work is crisp as ever. A Cottingley Secret, more gentle guitars, different sort of textures, really good. Through Braden's Door, gentle piano piece, very good. The Constant Friend, another track that's got some awesome string complement on it, really good. Another version of The Kissing Gate, which I love this track anyway, and you've got guitar, the flicking of the strings, the tapping on the side of the guitar, which gives its own sort of percussion with some lovely flute flowing through it as well. Requiem Love, this track is so gentle, the flute really does add to it, fantastic. She Who Gently Smiles, more of the same, very, very similar to Requiem Love. Work of Angels, this is one of them tracks, 1 minute you're getting piano, 1 minute you're getting guitar, and they sort of take it in turns. The Stars Look Down on Linda, just solid, just nice track. The Wounded Healer, It's Okay. Turning Earth, the best track on the album. It just proves that Gordon can play electric guitar as good as he can the acoustic. Precious, a little bit more vocal on this one, and it is really good. The Melody Weaver's Son goes on a little bit too long, and it does die off a little bit. Heart Song again, don't know how many times we've had that, but it's just modernised up, I suppose. Okay, it is a good album. A little bit repetitive in places, though. The different tunes are just different interpretations of these tunes. But I'm still going to give it an RTO 7 of 7.5 because I really do enjoy it, even though it is a little bit repetitive. So my number one. Now this is an album I've had for a little while, and it's an album that was out in 2013, and it's by Gordon Giltrap and Oliver Wakeman, one of Ric's sons, of course. And it's Who's on Here that really made me buy it. We got Paul Manzi, ex-Arena, Benoit David, ex-Yes and Mystery, Steve Amado on bass guitar, and Johan James, drummer of Threshold. It sort of went, oh hello, and I just brought it. One of them spur of the moment buy, and yep, I'm having that, thank you. First track on here is called Money Factoring. Really good track here. Lovely vocals from Paul Manzi, ex-Arena, of course. Oliver's keyboards is just like listening to his dad. It's a great little proggy track with some nice guitar work from Gordon. Excellent track. Then we get Fiona's Smile, a nice instrumental. It's just Oliver and Gordon playing off each other. It's wonderful, because I'm sure, because of his friendship with Ric, he's got to know Oliver quite well. So it's not like probably like a big uncle to him or something. You know, I think that's that sort of relationship, and you can just tell they like playing together because it just sounds great. Then from Turn of a Card, I really like this. The drumming from Johan is Johan, I don't know how he pronounces his name. From his drumming's brilliant. He's a great drummer. You've got some lovely keyboards here from Oliver. Really good track. LJW. When you listen to this, Oliver just sounds like his dad. His playing is just the same, but then again, when you've had your dad teach you to play, you're going to sound like him. Really good track. Maybe Tomorrow. The vocal on here is really good. I think it's a mixture of Benoit and Paul. Absolutely fantastic. Wherever There Was a Beauty, really good track. Some really great guitar work from Gordon on this. Then we get my favourite thing on here. It's called The Last Song I Write. God, this has got so much influences from all the people, the bands they've been in. You've got bits of Yes in here. You've got bits of Threshold and Arena. It's a great little prog track, and you know, these musicians are pretty cool. A Mayfair Kiss, a great piece of drum in here, and Oliver is good on the keyboards. Anyone Can Fly, just a track of Gordon and Oliver again, pretty good. Perfect Day, solid track. Credit Carnival, great vocal here from Paul Manzi. It's a good rock track. Then we get One for Billy, another track that he's done before, and this has got a bit more beat to it. Really good. And then we get Ravens Fly Away. You get some great harmonies in here. Paul Manzi and Benoit David, and probably a bit of Oliver as well. Excellent track to end the album. This is an album I brought off the cuff, and I wasn't disappointed. I really love this album, and what I like about it, you've got some Gordon Giltrap solo stuff, bits of Arena and Mystery, Yes, Threshold. It's all in there. It's a very, very good album. I recommend this one, and I'll give it an RTO ranking of 8 out of 10. So there we go. We have covered what we can on Mr. Giltrap. Still a fantastic guitar player, and enjoy listening to his stuff. Okay, I'll be back in a bit with a retro ranking, and we're going to do a couple of people that have sort of been part of my life since, well, I was 4. It's the first music I ever remember listening to when the That Certain album came out, and that's Simon and Garfunkel. So I'll be doing that very shortly. Have a nice cup of tea to warm me up, and then I'll be continuing. So quick break, and I'll be back later. Bye for now.